My name is Breanna Banks, and welcome to encourage, a safe and open space where we uplift, empower, and support women through conversation. Hey friends, it's Breanna Monet, and welcome back to another episode of encourage. Today, my special guest is Miss Nikki Moore. She's an author, and the name of her book is The Narcissist and Me. Now, I know what you're thinking. What is a narcissist? Because when I, first spoke with her, I was like, I really don't know what a narcissist is, but I'm telling you, this is definitely good information, and I'm so happy that she's here with me today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
I'm just so excited that, we're going to get this message out to the young people because nobody is really thinking about that. Right. You know what I'm saying? So thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Will you kind of just start and tell about your story and how you came across this?
Okay, so my story starts with meeting someone on social media. I didn't know, I can't even remember where I seen this picture, but I seen the picture. Mm-hmm. He was a very nice looking young man, because he is 9 years younger than me.
Okay.
Very nice looking man. And so I couldn't even remember where I seen him, like I said, but I spoke to him, I said hi to him, but it was like a month after I said hi to him that he spoke back.
Okay.
So I asked him, why did you take so long to speak to me? He said, well, I had to make sure you wasn't catfish. Catfish. I said, no, this is me. I'm a real person. This is me. So we began to talk and having conversations and, through Messenger. And he said, man, I'm very relaxed with you. I would like to give you my phone number so we could talk. Mm-hmm. So that's how it all started. We talked, and it was like we knew each other like forever.
Okay, yeah.
And that's when he would start asking me questions about myself. So you're not in a relationship? And I told him about, no, I've just got a divorce from my husband, Mm-hmm. I feel so hurt, because I truly loved my husband and everything. So.
Yeah. How long were you married?
23 years, but together 33.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, a long time. So I was very hurt, and because of that, I was looking for love.
Yeah.
And I told him that, I'm just looking for someone to love my heart. I just want to be loved so bad, because I didn't deserve what I went through.
Yeah.
I didn't deserve that because I felt I was a good wife, a good mother. Mm-hmm. I did the best I could. I wasn't perfect and no far, but I felt that I didn't deserve that. So we went on and on and on, and I asked, could I come and visit him in his state? Mm-hmm. He said, sure, you come on, And I was so happy that I was finally getting to meet this person that I've been talking to for so long. Mm-hmm. And so we had, a conversation on FaceTime. And he was just laying on his bed with his, head resting on his arm. And he just looked at me with this evil look and said, Nikki, you don't even know who you're talking to, do you? Ooh. Right then, I knew I was talking to Satan. It was like the Holy Spirit said, Satan. Oh, and I knew it. Gosh. But because my flesh was loving everything I was seeing, Satan, he makes them pretty, whatever you want. Yeah. Yes, he makes it that way. So I just said, okay, well, maybe that was just, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to just throw that out the window,
Okay.
But, it was time for me to go see him. I got my plane ticket and everything, so I called him one day, and he never answered the phone. He never answered the phone. He went ghost on me because he didn't want me to come. Mm-hmm. And so it was a few days, and I said, I'm coming in like 2 days. I need for you to call me. Like, right. I don't know what to do.
Your money and everything.
Yes. So I did. The next day came back. And I said, nothing. What am I going to do? I said, well, maybe he didn't want me to come. And he just, didn't know how to tell me. He didn't want to hurt my feelings.
A lot of red flags.
Yes, a lot of red flags. And so I said, okay, maybe if I text him and say, well, I changed my mind, I'm not coming, maybe he'll then respond to me. He sure enough did. When I said, oh, I'm not coming, so I don't know what he was hiding, were you with someone else, what was going on? Mm-hmm. So we just squashed it, okay, I won't come. So then, you know, a month later maybe, then he wants to come to visit me in Virginia. So I said, okay, come, because he said he was going through this hard time with his friend that he was living with, and her kids was stealing stuff from him and all this story. So I said, okay, come on up. Like, you know, you're going through a lot. You know, in my kind heart, I just have such a kind heart, you know, and a compassionate heart toward people. And I just felt sorry for him because he was going through so much. And say, just come and visit for like 3 weeks. And he said, okay, I'll do that. But what am I going to do after 3 weeks? I said, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out when you get here. I don't know. I don't know. So he did come and visit. It was so nice to be able to see that person I've been talking to. You know, he was very, you know, he kissed me when I got to the bus.
The first time?
The first time, like, and gave me a nice hug, whatever. I said, oh, okay. I wasn't expecting a kiss. No, nothing, just a hug. Nice to meet you. But it was like we were in a full-fledged relationship when we got that. Yes. And we went back to my house, to my apartment, and, you know, just talked and just had a great time and everything. And the first 2 weeks were lovely. You know, we did things. We encouraged each other, you know. And then the third week, he just turned into this person that I didn't even know. Like, and I thought he was just bipolar. I knew he was dealing with that because I've seen the swings, the emotional swings that he had. And I said, well, maybe I could work with someone that's bipolar, you know? But then he became just this angry man. I seen 3 people in the house with me. I seen a very nice man. I seen a man that was very angry, and I seen a little boy. He would cry like a little boy, like, and just whine like a little boy. So I was dealing with those 3 people, and we got into arguments about my Wi-Fi, you know, because I told him what certain things I don't allow in my house to say. I don't allow cursing, because he asked me when he first got there, okay, what do you allow in your house, what you do you not allow? Because I don't want to overstep my boundaries. And I say, well, I hate lights. If you don't need a light, then don't take a light. Don't put it on. And I say, I understand if you got to go in the kitchen or whatever. So he said, okay. So he started playing with my lights. He knew that was getting on my nerves. He started to call me names, turn up, you know, just listening to cursing movies and all that. And I said, please stop, you know, turn that off. And then he said, no, I'm not turning it off. I want to look at that. I said, well, guess what? The Wi-Fi is getting ready to get turned off. So he's been snooping in my house. And I said, I'm going to turn my Wi-Fi off. So I did. So he came to my bedroom door. You need to turn that Wi-Fi off and turn it on now. And he had his fist balled up beside him. And I said, no, I'm not, because I don't want to hear that. And then he pulled him up like he was going to make a swing at me. Like, I said, turn the Wi-Fi back on, Nikki. That scared me, so I turned the Wi-Fi back on. But that whole day, we were just like in fights all day. I had to call the police, and they came. They said that they couldn't do anything because he got mail there. He was smart enough to get mail to come to my house. And so
that's a gem right there, ladies. Let's just take a moment. You moving in, you know, you meet somebody, you move in, and all of this stuff, or they come in and spend the night, or they there all the time. But the thing is, if they got personal possessions there, or they get mail there, they technically live with you now. So you can't just make them leave. You got to evict them, and that takes 60 days. So just please be mindful who you let into your space, you know, because that's, as you can see, it can be very detrimental. So continue. I didn't want to interrupt you, but we just had to touch on that because a lot of people don't know that. And also because he had clothing there. And I said, of course he has clothing. He's visiting. You know, he's visiting. And they said it doesn't matter. Now, if he walks out the door, you can lock your door, throw his clothes over the balcony for all we care. You know, but as long as he's in here, you know, there's nothing that we could do. So, you know, I had to call the police twice that night. And the second time they said, hey, if
we have to come back again. Somebody's going to jail. And I know it wasn't going to be me.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't going to be me. So, you know, they left and he was still at it and everything. So what I did, I went in my bedroom, and where he was sitting in my living room, I could see him from my bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
So I called my friend who is a sheriff in another state, and I told him what was going on and everything. He said, he just started asking me questions. Does he have tattoos? Where are they at? Because if something happens, I can describe this person.
Yeah.
Just tell me, you know, you don't have to give this, because I know he hears you talking to me. And he just asked me where, you know, I would tell him. So he said, send me your address, because if something taps off, I got you.
Yeah.
So I stayed on the phone with him till his shift was over at 5 a.m. No sleep. I was so scared.
Wow.
Very scared.
Wow. Well, I mean, you obviously got out of the situation and was able to diffuse it. So I'm so grateful for that. But I mean, ladies, it's really important to listen to this story and really take some notes, because one, first of all, if you're going to meet anybody offline, you know, you have got to be skeptical, you know, and there were a lot of red flags that you were just, you know, you ignored. But please don't ignore the red flags, because it can cause you to be in a relationship with somebody and get yourself hurt and get yourself in a situation that it's hard to get out of. It's easy to get in these situations and it's hard to get out. So that's the first thing. Now, what caused you to write the book? What made you want to do share your story after you went through this?
Okay.
Because a lot of people would be embarrassed, like, oh man,
right.
I let this guy in my house, but you know, you decided you wanted to write a book about it.
Just for, you know, to give people information, young ladies especially, you know, to let them know, like, be careful who you meet on social media. Because everybody ain't who they think, you know, say they are.
Yeah, I think that majority of relationships nowadays come from social media and Tinder and Facebook and, you know, Instagram. So you got to be careful.
Yeah, you got very careful. Like, you know, with narcissists, they're very charming at first, loving and caring, and they try to get all the information they can about you. You know, so that's how they feed, you know. They're users. They will use you to get anything, to live with you, to buy things. I bought him so much stuff.
Just within that 3 weeks?
That's within the, well, no, time went by.
Oh, okay.
Because I've been knowing him for 3 years now. So at the time, it was this off and on thing. I would come to his state and stay, and he would come to the hotel, stay with me and everything. And then, I mean, when I came, I would bring him like stuff, all kinds of stuff, you know, to shoes, and I gave him money. You know, they give you these sad stories, and you know, they make up all these things so you can feel some type of way and feel sorry for them. That's what they do too. That's what they do too. So, so I just wanted to write this to help to give information out, you know, to these young ladies and even men, because men go through this too. There's women narcissists also. But they're never wrong. They always accuse you for what they do. They're never wrong. They're always right. They like to look nice. You know, it's all about them, and you know, they like to take a lot of selfies. He used to like just selfie all day, like, ooh, I look good. That's the thing, you know, and they like for you to admire them. It's like, ooh, it's me. Admire me. If you don't do it, then, you know, it's this and that, that. But that's what they do. They really, the thing is, they try to get all the information they can about you to play on that.
And use that against you.
Right.
So, for a young lady out there that, you know, they're watching this video and they realize, oh my God, I'm with a narcissist. What do they do? What would you say, you know, a word of advice for someone who is maybe trying to get out of a narcissistic relationship?
So, the first thing I was taught, because I had joined a support group, because I was new to this. I didn't know anything but a narcissist. I knew about bipolar, but I didn't know anything about narcissists. But the first thing they told me is no contact. Once you figure out that's what they are, no contact. Try your best not to have any contact with them because that eats them up. That eats them up when you don't have any contact with them because they want that contact. They want that attention and everything. Yeah. So I would say no contact. And it's hard because once you're in this kind of relationship, it is very hard to get out. It is. It takes a long time because your love was so true.
Yeah.
And theirs wasn't. And because your heart felt that way, it's hard to get through it, you know. And right now, I'm still dealing with a little bit of feelings, you know, and that's called trauma bond. Because like I said, my love was real, his wasn't. So they call that trauma bond.
Trauma bond.
Yes.
Okay. Can you talk about that a little more?
I bonded. I bonded with his heart, but his heart wasn't like my heart. So I bonded with what he was giving me, the love when he was that good person.
Yeah.
I bonded with that because I wanted that so much. And that's what they do. They, you know, that, like I say, they just love bomb you. And then at the end, you got a trauma bond. So I speak with so many ladies who's in this right now, where I am too. You know, they're going through the trauma bond stage. And it's hard to really get rid of. Because if you're in a relationship with someone for so long, you know, that's 3 years of loving this man and da-da-da. And so the trauma bond is real. Yeah. It is so real. And like we all say who's been through this with a narcissist, people don't understand what it is if they haven't been in it. Yeah. Because it's very hard to break because they left us like this. They left us loving them, wanting them when they were that good person. So that's what trauma bond is.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, you really just attach to the good aspects. Right. And it, you know, try to cover up everything else. And you just bond to that.
Exactly. Okay. So, you know, we moved in together and this is part of why I wanted to write the book too. Never let them move in with you.
Yeah, I mean, shouldn't be moving in with anybody, for real.
Yes.
But you know.
I'm telling you, I was not myself. When I went back to read this back to myself, I couldn't even recognize myself in this. I had gone into his world. I was trying to pull him in my world, but he was pulling me into his world.
Yeah, and you were in a vulnerable place too. You just had a divorce from a marriage for that long, so you know I can understand how it was kind of easy for you to just like have hope that it would work. Right. But wow.
And after we moved in together, you know, it was a short time. I only think he stayed with me for about 3 weeks because we got into it again. He refused to pay any bills.
Wow.
He wouldn't let me eat at times, so I couldn't even eat. No,
he wouldn't let you eat.
He would not let me eat because he brought the food in, and when he would get angry with me, he said, "You better not touch anything in the refrigerator. You better not eat nothing." But I had money to get my own stuff. But you're in my house. You're not paying nothing. I should be able to eat food.
Yeah.
But he would not let me eat. Told me what looked good on me. What I should take off and everything.
So he was controlling what you were wearing.
Yes. And so then, you know, we got into the argument, and I said, okay, so since you're not going to pay any rent, help me to pay anything, I'm taking my keys. So I grabbed my keys off the table. He ran to the door after me, the front door, because I had came home for lunch, and he wouldn't let me out the door. He said, "Give me my keys." You know, he was cussing me out. "You are effer and da da da, and you MF, you got me here." And I said, "No, you got yourself here. You wanted to come here and everything." So then I ran to my side door. I have a side patio door. I live on the first floor, and he was also holding the door also that I could not get out. So when I went back to the front door, I was going out. I had my phone and his keys in this hand, and I opened the door, and I was getting ready to go out. So he ejected the door from me, and I mean, he took the door with such force, and this tore my arm up in the door. I was so bruised. My arm was so big, and like I said, I lost feeling in my fingers for about 3 weeks, almost a month. it was that, I mean, I was bent over in pain. That's how much force he put on that door.
Wow.
That I dropped everything out my hand outside the door. So I forgot my car keys was inside. So I had to go back in again.
Wow.
And again, for about 5-10 minutes, back and forth, not letting me out the door. I said, I have to go back to work. I can't be, here. I have to go back to work. No, you're going to give my keys, and you're going to give my keys now. I said, well, when I get back to work, I'm going to call the police. I'm going to call, and I need to go to the hospital. You have hurt me. Then he said, go ahead, Nikki. Just go ahead and do what you got to do. Go ahead and do what you got to do. And I did. When I got to work, my coworkers was like, what is wrong? I was crying. They said, did somebody try to hurt you? Because they knew that person was at my house.
Okay.
And my coworker said, now, are you afraid of someone? And I said, yes. Did someone hurt you? I said, yes. Call the police. So the police came to my job. They took a report. And then another police officer came to the hospital when I got to the hospital. So they went to arrest him, but I'm guessing he was like at the 7-Eleven or something, because when I got home that day, it was a bag from the 7-Eleven at the door. So once he got there, they just must have arrested him right there. So we did all that, went to the hospital, and the officer must have called the other officers and asked, was he there, and they said, yeah. So she hung up for them. She was looking at my arm. She took my statement. And then they called her back, and they must have asked her, is there enough evidence for us to arrest him? She said, yeah, she's pretty banged up. Yeah, she's pretty banged up. So they took him to jail. He went for that one night. Then we were supposed to go to court like in 3 weeks. So I got a protective order, and we went to court. But because the people in the hallway across from me, they had one of those doorbell ringer cameras.
Oh, yeah.
So it captured everything
that
he said he didn't do. So it captured him yelling at me, calling me the names, and slamming the door. But the officers forgot to, inquire that into, like, we need that footage.
Yeah.
So we had to go do another date. And when we went back to court, he never showed.
Wow.
He's gone a ghost.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I'm just happy that you are okay and that you were able to get out of that situation, because it could have gotten really dangerous.
Right.
I mean, from the story that you told, it could have gotten worse and got really bad. So another thing that I want to make sure, ladies that are listening, you need to tell people. Okay, don't try to hide it. Don't be embarrassed. If you recognize that things are going bad, you need to let somebody know, because if your coworkers didn't know about it, then they wouldn't have been able to identify, you know? So make sure that you're talking to your family. Make sure you're talking to your friends. If you don't feel comfortable, tell a therapist, tell anybody, because as you can see, it can get physical and it can get dangerous, and you don't want to be in that situation. So for my ladies out there who don't know anything about narcissism, like, what signs should they be looking for?
Like I said, being very loving and charming. It's all about them. Everything's your fault, not their fault. They like to be admired. They like to be users. They lie a lot. They give you these stories so you can feel sorry for them. And they just like to look nice. And, that's about the big thing for them right now. Like, all those things.
About them, yeah.
Yeah, it's all about them, yeah.
So, even a woman could be a narcissist.
Correct.
So,
same thing.
So if you've identified, with yourself that maybe you're the narcissist, what would you recommend that they do if they're the one who's the narcissist?
Get help, get therapy, because something is wrong. Something is very wrong mentally. Something is very wrong mentally. So I would advise them to get help, therapy.
Yeah, and I talk about therapy and mental health a lot on my podcast. So ladies, again, don't be ashamed. If you've identified, maybe I'm a narcissist, go talk to somebody, reach out, because you don't want to be I can't think of the word, but you don't want to be the one that's
Right.
causing the pain and the harm to somebody else. And we want to have healthy relationships. And another thing, please be careful if you're going to be dating people online, because it's easy, as you know, to get catfish. And you may end up with somebody who's a narcissist or physically abusive. Any of those things can happen when you meet somebody in person, so it can definitely happen if you are meeting people offline. And just look out for those signs.
And what else they do? They pull you away from your family.
Oh.
Some of them won't let you have a relationship with your family. Now, he didn't do that, but I chose to keep away from my family. I know my family didn't like him, but it was all about him. Forget them. I'm with him. It's all about him right now.
Yeah.
But he didn't do that. But some narcissists do that. They really take you from your family. They don't want you to have, hang out with your sisters or whatever.
Wow.
But that's part of them too. They do that too.
Yeah, got to be careful because,
Yes.
then that plays into why you may stay so long, because if you have nobody that's looking out for your best interest other than that person, then they can get in your head, and it could end up being 3 years, 5 years, 10 years that you've been with this person, and like you said, it's really hard to get out of it.
Yes.
So I'm just so glad that we are having this conversation, because now I've got some information, and hopefully, my listeners, you guys are getting some information. Please be very cognizant of the people that you are letting into your life, and also especially into your home, because as you can see, people know what they're doing, and they can end up living with you, and you can't get them out, and you can really, really seriously get hurt that way. So please be careful out here. Thank you so much. So tell us how we can get your book.
So you can get my book on Amazon. It's available on Amazon.
Okay.
And also at my publisher, which is Lulu. So you can go to lulu.com/spotlight/N more 89.
All right. Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you
you're
so much
welcome.
for
Thank you for having me.
talking with me and sharing this information. It's going to help somebody, change somebody's life. Thank you guys for joining me again, and I will see you guys next time on encHERage. Thanks, guys. Thank you for joining us for another episode. Please share this with someone who may need it, and we hope you leave today feeling encouraged. Until next time.